Today's game is Castlevania Judgment for the Nintendo Wii. Alright guys, now Castlevania in itself is a game about the Belmont clan. The Belmont clan is generations of vampire killers and hunters, and they just train from birth to kill vampires all the time. The ultimate vampire is Dracula, and they kill Dracula. Dracula dies. Then he comes back like 100 years later. Lo and behold, it's a brand new Belmont member ready to kill him again. Okay? I don't know why Dracula hates the world so much. Well, I kind of do, because Netflix has a show on it, and it's really awesome if you haven't checked it out. 4 episodes. I mean, what are you going to lose? But yeah, for sure. Castlevania Judgment specifically, though, is a weird departure from actual Castlevania, in which a timekeeper, named Aeon, who I guess is like Doctor Who, wants to stop a monster that's coming in to the time stream to destroy things, right? What he does is he brings Castlevania characters in to the time stream, which pauses time for everybody. So he just keeps hand plucking these Castlevania warriors out of their time and into the time stream, and they have to fight each other to see who's the strongest, so that strongest person can fight this monster. All right, and Aeon can do his job, go about his business, throw everybody back into the time from whence they came. Now, I kind of spoiled the story a little bit, and I spoiled it because I don't really think it matters that much. I mean, the story is pretty good, but for some reason, they made you play through the story mode with all the characters, and they wouldn't tell you why, which really made it weird. So you would play through with one guy, and you would unlock other characters, and as you unlocked other characters, you would add a pin to Aeon's clock or his watch or whatever it is. And when you added 13 or 11 pins, then he would finally open up the gates and complete the story, which was basically what I just said. Everybody had their own inconsequential story that they were going through, and for a fighting game, I thought it was okay. I mean, they all had their own little struggles, but it's all inconclusive. Everybody in the story mode had their own drive with which they wanted to defeat people, and then you just move forward until they ran into the character that they wanted to defeat, and then that was it. There really wasn't much to that part of the story mode, and I mean, it was just fun playing through the game. Just remembering these characters. It's nostalgia, so what are you gonna do? Alright, real quick, all the music is orchestral versions of the songs from all of the games. Alright, so if you like the Castlevania music, which, I mean, you should. If you don't, what's wrong with you? Then you'll like the battle themes for all of these stages. Also, there is one boss fight, and you have to complete all the story modes to get to this boss. It's a fair boss. I mean, it's not too hard. There are certain characters I would not try it with, like Dracula, but most of the characters you can defeat him with using the same pattern. Once you figure out his pattern, you got it. So, anyway, let's go ahead and talk about these combos. Every character has this different type of, a bunch of different combos that they can use. The waggle controls on the Wii are pretty bad, so you should probably get a Pro controller, or whatever they call it, a classic controller, if you're gonna play this game, because it's garbage without it. Like, I didn't even try, but to give you a understanding, you can evade roll, and the way you evade roll is that you shake the Wiimote. That's your evade, so don't do it. Anyway, all the characters seem to fit a stereotype that works with their personality, and they all have combos that match with that stereotype. They seem to be a little random as in how you do the combos. Like, there's no one special button combination that has the characters do one thing specifically, except there is a guard breaking attack that, you know, the player just kind of wheels back and then hits somebody with. And even those guard breaking attacks are a little like, you know, I mean, I didn't even know they're guard breaking attacks. You would have to play as each character to understand which attacks are the guard breaking attacks. They're very anticlimactic. However, I do like how Trevor Belmont says wide open, like when he hits the guy with his guard break attack, so that's pretty cool.
Wide open.
Oh.
Wide open.
He said wide open. There are also breakable objects around the stages that will open up some hearts or a special item that you can throw, just like regular Castlevania. That is the item in the bottom right-hand corner surrounded by the circle. You can use knives to throw a distance attack. You can use holy water to throw on the person real quickly when they're right next to you. You can also use a clock that stops time, and the clocks are pretty rare. You also have a block which blocks everything except for the guard break moves, and no throw, which, you know, I had a real problem with that. Like, how can you block most of the moves except for the guard break moves, which take a long time to charge up, and not have a throw? Like, a throw is supposed to be the equalizer to stop people from blocking too much. But one of the things that I thought was interesting about this game is that if a person blocks too much, normally what you would do if you're a heavy blocker is you would block, wait for a counter, and when the person ends their combo, you open them up right there when there's a pause. But this game doesn't have very long pauses after the combo, so if you don't know the combo's coming, or you're not familiar with the combo, you won't know when to stop and do it. Also, one of the things that's very interesting about this game is that you can use the items to extend your combo out of nowhere. So if you say you have like a 3-hit combo with an axe or something, so it's 1, 2, 3. All right, the person blocks all 3 of them and then waits for you to hit with that 3rd one, and then opens up and then does their combo and knocks you on your butt, right? Well, you can do the 1, 2, 3 and then throw some holy water out there for 4, and when the opponent opens up their block so that they can counter against you, they totally get lit up with the holy water, and then you can do your combo all over again. So instead of you hitting with, or not hitting with the 3 and getting knocked back on your butt, you can throw the holy water, get a couple of hits off that, and then while the person is stammering from the holy water, you still get your 3 hits anyway. And it's all about timing and trying to mess with your opponent a little bit. Although I still would have liked to throw. I mean, what the heck is going on there? The gauge at the bottom of the screen, like most fighting games, tells you when you can use your super move. Every character only has one super move, and they can only use it when the gauge is totally full. One of the things that's interesting about this super move is that on the normal setting, when you use the super move, it totally takes away half the energy of whoever you use the move on, which I think is a little OP. But if you raise the level of difficulty, your super move is worth less and less. So I'd hate to see what the super move is like when it's on the easiest level. It'll probably kill a person with one usage. These super moves are really cool to me though. Like, you can't go wrong with stopping the whole situation and having a dude act out a cinematic super move. That's just dope. You know, a lot of the games that I've played, fighting games, will give you a super move that's just right there. But I like to see the extra mile gone forth and having the guys talk smack and then they play out a little super move. And I also like the fact that you can't use it like every 5 seconds. So it kind of makes it special even though there's only one super move per character. The stages of this game are awesomely interactive. I mean, every stage has things you can break, you know, and when you break those things, they reveal items. However, you can walk over to something and charge it full of energy, and if somebody else tries to break it, it explodes. You know what I mean? That's actually pretty cool. Some stages have the ship stage has like a monster arm coming out to get you, and there's a molten lava stage where at some point the lava comes up and it drains your energy if you're standing in it. And also there's a stage that's a torture chamber stage, and just all these death traps just pop up and down in the middle of you trying to fight. It's very interesting how they implemented these things. I like it very much. There are a few characters that are a little bit more top tier than I was expecting them to be. There's Eric, the little boy with the Alucard spear. I don't know why he's like a little boy with a spear and he can move so damn fast. What the heck is going on with that? There's Cornell, the werewolf, who can just disappear and reappear. His movements are really super fast. And also there's Dracula. Now, Dracula actually, if you're playing him, he has a really hard movement issue. However, if the computer is playing against you, like when I had to play him as Alucard, he was almost impossible to actually lay a hand on, which is, oh, it was so ridiculous. I mean, even when I got a chance to play as him, I was so bored by the fact that all I could do is, you know, what do they call it? Range fighting? What do they call it when you it's called spacing? Like, he spaces against you, and it's irritating, and it's boring, and it ticks me off. It's horrible, and, you know, screw it. It's the worst part of the Alucard story, for real. But the worst thing about this game is that there's a character named Shanoa from Castlevania Order of Ecclesia for the Nintendo DS. Alright? She is not a playable character unless you get your Nintendo DS out, link it with your Nintendo Wii using the internet or whatever it is you use, and prove that you have the game. Like, you have to start the game, the Order of Ecclesia game, go down to the little perks, and then you have to do the same thing with this Castlevania Judgment game, and then after that you're able to play as her and I believe as Aeon, and it really ticked me off. Really made me mad that they would wall off a character that was pretty cool in the game just because, you know, they want you to buy this DS game, which it was a good game. You know what I'm saying? I still haven't beaten it in all these years. I bought it brand new. But I'm glad that it's worth something for this other game that I happened to buy, like, what, 15 years later? 20 years later, even? I mean, what the heck is up with that? That was horrible. You know, I mean, it's Konami, so whatever. But, oh, come on, man. That was the first inkling of gangsta I've ever seen. You know, I hear people complaining about this company forever. This is one of those things where it's like, really though? That's horrible. Alright, since I accidentally spoke of Aeon as a playable character, let me go ahead and say this. His super move takes so long to activate. You can barely get it on the screen. And that really, really pissed me off. I mean, I waited all this time to get, like, this cool character. You know, he pops up towards the end. I beat it with everybody. Aeon's like, yeah, hey, I'm a playable character. Come on and play me. And then all of a sudden, it's like, let's see a super move. And then he does this.
This will just take a minute. Even artificial life is subject to the laws of time.
This is pretty cool.
And time marches on. Right on time.
Did you see that? It took him 3 full seconds to activate his super move. Okay? That means that unlike every other character who just kind of does a move that starts it off, you have to take Aeon halfway across the stupid screen and then snap your fingers and hope that the other opponent doesn't decide to come after you by the time you can activate your move. It's ridiculous. I could only pull it off like a couple of times, whereas the other ones I got to experience anytime I really felt like it, as long as I just kept trying. This one took a considerable amount of luck and a considerable amount of ignorance on the AI's part. But if you're playing anybody like live, once they see the little circle around their body and they see you run away, they're gonna be pretty clear as to what you're doing. You know what I mean? And Aeon's regular moveset, it might be super dope, but I don't think it was good enough to even warrant such a long starting super move. That's ridiculous. So there you have it, Castlevania Judgment on the Wii. I actually had an immensely fun time with it. I mean, I can't even front. I you know, even though it has nothing to do with the lore, like it's not canon, I thought they did a good job. All right, very good. So that's all I got. If you like the artwork that I did for this, you know, CraftyAcuity.org, we can check out all the artwork. It's of course all for sale. Gotta say that. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you want to subscribe to see more videos that I've done, hit the subscribe button. If you want to be notified, hit the bell button. If you want to help me out, buying more equipment, not sit here in a dungeon telling you stuff, then you know you can you know, be a patron. So have a nice day, you know, have a nice week, you know, whatever. I'll see you guys on the next Dad's Free Time Game Reviews. Peace.